You know that feeling in XCOM where moving one tile too far could mean losing your best unit forever? Well, if you're into that mix of strategy, tension, and "oh no" kind of moments, then you're in the right place. Today, we're looking at 10 indie strategy games that scratch that same itch. Some are small and quirky, others are sprawling and serious, but all of them are worth your wish list. Let's get into it. Is there such thing as a cozy tactics game? Because it kind of feels like Day of the Shell was making some attempt at earning that title. It's an interesting roguelike that distills turn-based tactics into one simple rule. One click equals one turn. You play as a lone huntress navigating a drowned archipelago, hopping from island to island on short, high-stakes contracts. Every encounter is a self-contained puzzle of movement and gunplay, framed by an eerie world of ancient gods and failing shores. It's quick, tense, easy to pick up, and runs great on a handheld. Classified France 44 drops you into the final months of World War II, controlling resistance fighters pulling off sabotage missions behind enemy lines. Cover matters, stealth matters, and morale is huge. Panic can ripple through enemy squads if you play it right. There's a slower, more deliberate pacing here compared to most other tactics games, but it works. You feel like you're setting up a secret chessboard where every piece could be discovered at any moment, and the mix of real history and fictional missions make it feel grounded without being a textbook. Set in an alternate history Cold War, Phantom Doctrine is all about espionage. Your job is to run an entire spy network, recruiting agents, forging documents, and deciphering enemy intel. The missions here are less about mowing down enemies and more about staying hidden, blending in, and pulling off objectives without alerting the whole map. When combat does happen, it's fast, brutal, and a little bit messy. Exactly how you'd expect a shootout in a cramped safe house to go. It's also a little bit slower paced, but if you do love that paranoia-tinged trust no one vibe, then it's complete gold. The Banner Saga, and by extension the whole Banner Saga series, is a beautifully drawn, Viking-inspired tactical RPG with some solid gameplay and a monumental amount of story. Every attack chips away at either an enemy's armor or their strength, which acts as both their health and their damage output, which makes for a fascinating dance of weakening and finishing off enemies. But unlike most titles on this list, the real meat of the game is in the story. Your choices in the dialogue and caravan management have huge, permanent consequences, often leading to the death of key characters. It's an epic saga where the world feels like it's dying, and the weight of your people's lives rests heavily on your shoulders. It's a game that respects your intelligence just as much as your emotional investment. Hard West 2 is a game that leans both into the supernatural and the Wild West. Your crew of gunslingers each has special abilities, but the real hook is the bravado system. Get a kill, and you instantly get your action points back. That single mechanic converts every turn into a puzzle of possible kill chains and risky plays. Do you take the easy shot now, or gamble on a trick shot that could let you sweep the whole board? Oh, and the presentation's gorgeous, by the way. Snowy landscapes, haunted towns, and a soundtrack that's just as much Ennio Morricone as it is a horror movie. Hey, if you like this video so far, then you might like my podcast, Indie Game Arcade, where we do deep dives and discussions every Wednesday and Friday. So if you want more indie game recommendations, go listen to it on your favorite podcast app. Now let's get back to the list. Imagine tactical combat with exploration. No separate battle map, no cut between movement and action. You sneak through the world in real time, spot enemies, and choose when to strike. Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, created by a team of former leads on Hitman and the designer from Payday, stars a quirky cast of rough-and-tumble anthropomorphic characters, all with distinct skill trees. It's weird, but it totally works. The stealth element means you can whittle down patrols before a fight even starts, or walk right into an ambush if you get sloppy. It's one of those games where you'll feel like you want to reload, not because you lost, but because you know you could have done it perfectly the first time around. If you want the most old-school, no-hand-holding experience on this list, then this game's it. Xenonauts is a modern homage to the classic 90s style, brutal, methodical, and absolutely unforgiving if you get cocky. You're juggling base building, global defense, and small squad tactics, but it never lets you forget that resources are tight. You might have to make some ugly calls about which regions you can protect and which ones you can't. It's definitely not flashy, but there's a certain satisfaction in a game that respects your ability to dig in, learn its systems, and live with the consequences. Invisible Ink might seem like the opposite of what we're going for at first, seeing how you're trying to avoid combat, but just minutes into this game and you'll understand why it makes the list. You're controlling a small team of agents infiltrating procedurally generated corporate facilities, stealing data, and escaping before the alarm hits critical. Every single turn is a nail-biter. Cameras and guards have predictable patterns, but you're always just one misstep away from disaster. And the twist? You've only got a set number of in-game hours before the final mission, meaning every failed infiltration has a lasting cost. It's stylish, tense, and it forces you to adapt on the fly. Once it clicks, it's the kind of game that you can lose whole evenings to without noticing. If you're looking for a game with sheer depth, then Troubleshooter Abandoned Children is absolutely absurd. It's part JRPG, part tactical sim, and it throws an almost overwhelming amount of customization at you. Every character has unique passive skills, abilities, and weapon options, and you'll spend just as much time tinkering with builds as you do in combat. The story's episodic, with a mix of grounded crime fighting and larger conspiracies, and it's all presented in this anime-inspired style that's oddly charming given how intense the gameplay can be. This is definitely not a quick pick up and play, but if you like sinking your teeth into systems, you'll definitely want to stick with this one for a while. And for our top spot, we have Into the Breach, a masterclass in puzzle-like tactics. You control a squad of 3 mechs on a tiny 8x8 grid, and your mission is to defend civilian cities from a giant alien infestation. In this game, enemies will telegraph every single move they're going to make. You can see where they're attacking, who they're targeting, and you have to use your mech's unique abilities to reposition, block, and counter every threat. There's almost no randomness. Every round is a perfect information puzzle, and when you pull off a flawless turn, pushing one enemy into a trap, another into the water, maybe a third into the path of an ally's attack, it's one of the most satisfying feelings in gaming. It's brilliant, endlessly replayable, and a must-play for any strategy fan. So there you go, 10 tactical indie games that prove you don't need a AAA budget to pull off tense, smart strategy. Whether you want something grounded in history, drenched in sci-fi, or just plain weird, they're all worth checking out. If you've played any of these games or think we missed a hidden gem, drop it in the comments below. And if you want more indie game finds every week, make sure you hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and go check out my podcast, Indie Game Arcade. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.